All right. Hello, my loves. Welcome to your Tuesday Thought Twist. Take two. I am your mistress of alignment, Deb Penner, and this is your weekly opportunity to become a better manager of your beautiful human brain. We're going to draw from pop culture today. I don't know if you've seen the Spiderman movie, but after Peter Parker gets bit by the spider and he starts developing all of these crazy weird powers, his beloved Uncle Ben says to him, Peter, with great power comes great responsibility. And I want to talk about that idea today because when it comes to personal power in the world of personal growth, personal development, the converse of that statement is actually more true. With great responsibility comes great power. Our access to our personal power, the gate through which we travel to access our personal power, is personal responsibility. So anytime we are unwilling or unable, because we're lacking in skills or knowledge, to be fully present with our personal responsibility, then we are equally unable to access our personal power. And that's a really important thing to understand. So when you have a time in your life, a situation, a relationship, a decision, a moment where you are feeling powerless, the question is not, how do I access more power? The question is, how do I access more responsibility? How do I take more responsibility in this situation? Responsibility for my thoughts, responsibility for my emotions, for my choices, for my actions and outcomes, for my needs, for my boundaries. And notice that this list, is entirely things that belong to me. Notice I did not say, how do I take more responsibility for things I have no control over? How do I take more responsibility for other people's choices, for other people's emotions? That is not your personal responsibility. Your personal power and your personal responsibility are tied together. The more you can access your personal responsibility, the more things that truly belong to you that you can take and hold responsibility for, the more access you're going to have to the experience of your personal power. It's important to note you can't actually lose your personal power. Nobody can take it from you, and you can't even really give it away. You can, however, lose your connection to your personal power. You can lose the feeling of being in your personal power. And you certainly can lose the experience of living a personally empowered life. You can live as if you do not have personal sovereignty, as if you do not have personal power. But that doesn't make it true. As soon as you are willing to re-engage with your responsibility, you instantly re-engage with your personal power. So that's really important to remember, particularly if you have been in a pattern of abdicating your responsibility, of blaming other people and things outside of your control and pushing your responsibility away from yourself. It may feel like you have lost your power. So important to remember that that actually isn't possible. Your power is waiting for you to walk through the gate, and the gate is your responsibility. This is something, my friends, that comes up a lot in coaching, where we're going to talk about what things am I actually responsible for? What things am I not responsible for? How do I take more personal responsibility? How do I let go of the illusion of responsibility for things that don't belong to me? And then what do I do with all of these feelings that I have about these things? Because if you have not been in this place where you're really resolute in your personal responsibility, so you're really deeply experiencing your personal power, there are going to be a lot of thoughts and feelings when you start to make this shift. So that's a lot of the work that we often do in coaching, is figuring out how we sort through these things and then how we deal with everything that comes up as we begin to release other people's responsibility to them, and they have reactions about that. and we start to take more of our responsibility on ourselves, and we have reactions about that, and other people have reactions about that. It's a bit of a Gordian knot unwinding, right? There's a lot that goes on if we've been out of touch with our personal power as we get back in touch with it. So if you're listening to me talk about this and you've got the nod going, right? You're like, yes, that's me. I need that. Let's get you some. Let's have a conversation about it. The easiest way to have a completely free breakthrough session with me is just to go to my website, which is drops, DROPS, withdeb.com. And right there at the top of the homepage, next to the picture of me, there's a little button. Just click on the Talk to Me button. You can set up a free chat, and we'll go through this. We'll talk about what is your responsibility, what is not your responsibility, how can you shift into more of your personal power, and what are some of the things that you're likely to encounter along the way, and how are you going to deal with those things? Would absolutely love to talk with you about it. I'd also love to see in the comments of this video, how's this landing with you? Does this make sense to you? Does it seem like it's not true? Is this work you've already done? Are you seeing areas in your life where you have taken responsibility and you're feeling powerful, and other areas where maybe you haven't and you don't? I would love to hear your stories. Share them with us in the comments, and I'll see you next Tuesday.